This is for 3rd grade ELA, text at author's point of view. Essential question is, how do you know how an author feels about a topic? Every day, huge ships carrying oil travel across the seas. If there's an accident, the oil can spill out into the water. When there's an oil spill at sea, it can kill thousands of ducks, geese, fish, and crab. Did you know that an oil spill occurs somewhere in the world almost every day? That's one of the facts in this nonfiction book, Oil Spill, by Melvin Berger. As I read, listen for other facts. Also, think about why the author wrote the book and the message he wants readers to take away from it. The night of March 24th in 1989 was dark and cold. A huge black oil tanker glided out of the port of Valdez, Alaska. Painted on its bow was its name, Exxon Valdez. The Exxon Valdez floated low in the water. About 50 million gallons of crude oil weighed it down. So a tanker is a ship that carries liquids. Crude oil, also called petroleum, is a dark liquid usually found underground. It is used to make gasoline for cars, fuel for electricity, and other things. The huge tanker slowly sailed out into Prince William Sound, and then suddenly it happened. Crunch! The ship slammed into an underwater reef. Thick black oil flowed out of the Exxon Valdez smashed tanks. It poured into the dark water. The Exxon Valdez spilled out 11 million gallons of oil. That much oil could fill over 1,000 big swimming pools. The sticky oil soon covered 11,000 square miles of ocean water. That is an area as big as the state of Maryland. It damaged about 1,250 miles of Alaska's coastline. That is longer than the entire Atlantic coast of the United States. So what are some ways that the author helps you understand how much oil spilled? The oil is stuck to the feathers of many ducks, geese, and other seabirds. The birds couldn't swim or fly. Over 300,000 died. Oil got into the bodies of fish, shrimp, and crab. No one knows how many of them were killed. Sea otters, sea lions, harbor seals, and killer whales swallowed oil. They breathed the poisonous fumes. Their bodies were coated with oil. Thousands of these marine mammals died. The spill from the Exxon Valdez was one of the worst in our country's history, but it was not the only one. An oil spill occurs somewhere in the world almost every day of the year. Oil spills have many causes. Some are accidents. A tanker, like the Exxon Valdez, runs aground or collides with another ship. Workers make mistakes as a tanker is being loaded or unloaded. An undersea oil well starts to leak. A tank or a pipe breaks at a shore oil terminal. Some oil spills occur on purpose. The tanker captain tells the workers to clean up the tanks. Sometimes they flush the old oil into the sea. So that's the tanker that collides with another tanker. That's the undersea oil starts to leak. That's what it looks like. And then that's the pipe breaks at shore oil terminal. That's the oil terminal. What do the illustrations and captions on this page show? Why do you think these illustrations are placed on this page? How do they help you understand the words on page 14? The cause of oil spills differ, but the result is the same. The oil spreads out. It floats on top of the water. Experts on oil spills rush to the scene. They start to clean up the mess. Their first job is to stop the oil from spreading. They put a boom around the spill. The boom is like a collar. It keeps the oil in one place. So we've learned some different causes of oil spills and the effects that spilled oil has in marine life. After experts manage to keep the oil from spreading, I wonder how they clean it up. For small spills, the experts may call for a skimmer. There are several kinds of skimmers. One type works like a giant vacuum cleaner. It sucks up the oil from the water. Sometimes the oil the skimmer collects can be used again. So this is the funnel-shaped head, floats just below the surface. Oil flows into it. See? Traps the oil. Bags filled with soaked up oil. That's the picture. That's the pad, that's the water, this is the oil. For some small spills, experts place special pads on top of the oil. The pads are like sponges. They soak up the oil, then they have to get rid of the soaked up oil. For larger spills, the experts may set the oil on fire, but the fire sends smoke and gas into the air and leaves ash in the water. Cleanup crews also use chemicals to get rid of large oil spills. Perhaps people aboard planes or boats spread the chemicals on the oil. Some chemicals break the oil into tiny bits. The tiny bits mix with the water. Other chemicals make the oil come together. The oil forms a layer like a sheet of rubber. One type of skimmer lifts the sheet of oil and oily debris out of the water. Chemicals make the oil less harmful, but they add poisons to the water. In time, the oil from most spills drift onto the shore. Scientists spray the rocks and sand with hot water to wash the oil back into the sea, but the hot spray might also push the oil farther into the rocks and sand. Here, the oil can harm plants and animals that live on the shore. Scientists sometimes add bacteria to the oil along the shore. The bacteria eat the oil and change it into harmless substance, but it would take huge amounts of bacteria to get rid of big oil spills. Sometimes the experts decide that no action is the best way to treat an oil spill. The wind and waves mix the oil and water together. It's like mixing oil and vinegar to make salad dressing. In time, much of the oil disappears. So let's stop to talk about some of the methods that are described to clean up oil spills. Which method do you think works the best? Why do you think that? Oil spills are major disasters. Slowly, scientists are learning how to clean them up. They are learning how to prevent spills. How can we help to prevent oil spills too? How to prevent oil spills. We can use less oil. If we use less oil, there will be fewer oil tankers in the oceans. Then the chance of oil spills will not be as great. One way to save oil is to use less electricity. Electricity is often produced by burning oil. Less electricity means less oil. Another way to cut oil needs is to use less gasoline, which is made from oil. That means driving smaller cars and staying within the speed limit. We also can write letters to members of Congress. Tell them we want new laws to prevent oil spills. Oil tankers should have double holes. If the outer hull is damaged, the inner one will still hold the oil. Tankers should have the most modern radar, radio, and other safety systems. This will help to prevent collisions. Experts should teach tanker crews how to handle oil spills. Booms, scammers, chemicals, and bacteria should be kept ready for emergencies all around the world. Oil companies should be helped to find new oil fields in the United States. They should not just depend on oil shipped from abroad. Together we make our seas and shorelines clean and beautiful. And it says, Dear Senator, I'm worried about oil spills. They kill birds, fish, and other animals that live in the sea. We must protect our earth. We need new laws to help prevent oil spills. Sincerely, Anna. You can draw pictures, so if you want to write, you can write, Dear Senator, that's where the Senator, U.S. Senate, Washington, D.C., and that's the zip code. So the last page of the book includes information about ways to prevent oil spills. Why do you think the author included this information?